Hi everyone, welcome to the next chapter of our Flutter development course. So in the last chapter we had created our first Flutter project and we had configured our code editor, that is VS Code. So in this chapter specifically we are going to open the project, take a look at the folder structure. Like you might see several folders and files. The exact number and names of these folders might change over time as Flutter upgrades, but let's cover all the key folders. So let me open the project in VS Code. So this is our project which we have created earlier in our previous chapter, the first tab. So you can see here there is a folder called lib. This is one of the most important folder because it contains your all Dart code files. Right now you will only see there is a one file which is main.find, but as you progress you will add more files here. So the lib folder is where you will store all the Dart and Flutter code that makes up your application. Over time we will learn how to organize all these files and keep your code into multiple files and folders to keep everything manageable and readable. So just remember one thing, that all the folders within this lib folder will be ending with .dart extension, or will have a .dart extension, indicating that this is a particularly Dart file or Dart code. Now there are certain platform specific folders which you can see here is Android, iOS and web. So these folders contain platform specific files which are necessary for running your app on different devices. Typically you won't be needing to touch these files directly, Flutter will handle them for you, but depending on the complexity of the project you might need to do something in these folders, but for now let's keep it like that. There will be another folder which is called as build folder. Right now you cannot see the build folder because I have not built the project yet. So once I build the project there will be a folder named as build here. So build folder contains the temporary and output files generated by Flutter when it builds the app for you. You won't need to change anything in this folder. Flutter obviously manages it for you, but you will get all the, for example, if you're creating an APK or IPA, or if you're creating it for you are building it for web, everything will be present in your build folder. Once we go into the section for building, I will be explaining you in more details. So there is one other folder which is test folder. This folder is for writing automated tests for your application. Automated test can help to catch errors early and save you from manual testing everything, but testing is something which is advanced topic, so let's skip it for now. We'll discuss it later. There are certain folders as well which is having a dot in the considered as a hidden folder, like .dat file or .git ignore. So these folders hold extra configuration settings for tools and editor. You usually don't need to tweak them. .git ignore file will only exist if it is a Git repository. Once we start working with Git, you will see a Git .git ignore file as well, and I'll explain you what is the significance of .git ignore file and what we need to write over there. And let's come to pubspec.yml. This is another important file which you need to learn. So pubspec file is for managing dependencies and including third-party packages in your project. We will be editing this file throughout the course, as we add more feature to our app. And pubspec lock is something like a log file is managed by Flutter. It's managed by Flutter itself to keep a track of your dependencies and exact versions. So you don't need to edit this file. Depending on your pubspec.yml, it will automatically get edited by Flutter. readme.md it contains the general information about your project. It's about a short description and some resources to dive deep into Flutter. You might not need it right now. I will be covering a section where I will be explaining you what particularly you need to write in readme.md file. So now that we have a quick look at all the folders and files in our Flutter project, let's focus on one very important file, which is as I said, it's main.file, the only file which you will get right now. So This file is basically the entry point of our Flutter app, essentially where it all begins, where you run your app on an emulator or a real device. So let me if you can see the main dot, we will see some code. At this point it might look confusing for you because we haven't covered the details yet, but don't worry, we are going to learn all about it throughout the course. So let me just explain what happens basically in the main dot file. When you run the file, first of all it parses the code. The first thing that happens is Dart reads through the code from top to bottom. This process is called parsing. During parsing, Dart checks your code for any errors and understand the structure of your code. If there is any particular error, Dart will point it out to you, and it will obviously tell you what the particular mistakes is. Now once the code is parsed, like after parsing, Dart needs to translate this code into a language that is target platform can understand, that the target platform can understand. For example, if you are running it in iOS, so it has to convert in a language which iOS can understand. This translation process is basically called as compiling. So Dart and Flutter tools work together to compile your Dart code. This means that they convert it into a native machine code specific to Android, iOS or web, whatever the platform you are running. It's like translating a book from one language to another so that more people can read it in native words. So once the code is compiled, it's then bundled into a highly optimized package. This package contains everything needed for your app to run efficiently on the target device, whether it's iOS or Android. This is a very crucial step because it ensures that your app is fast, responsive and ready to deliver the best performance on whatever device it is running. Now comes the part where you run the compiled code. Finally, this optimized code package is what gets executed on your device. When you launch your app, the device does not run your original Dart code. Instead, it runs the translated one or the optimized version of your code. So to summarize, first of all, what you need to do, you write your app in Dart using Flutter. Dart parses and understands your code. It translates your code into native machine language or the platform specific language. This machine code is bundled into an organized package, and that is what runs on your target device. So understanding this process is fundamental because it highlights how Flutter bridges the the gap between your Dart code and the native capabilities of the device. This transition is what makes Flutter so powerful and cross-platform. So in the upcoming section, we will break down the main dot file even further, exploring each part of the code so that you know exactly what is happening and why you're writing this particular code. So that's it for today. Stay tuned and see you in the next chapter. Thank you.